Good morning everyone. So yes, today we will try to find out some important inputs for our examination from the Hindu newspaper 10th March 2022. Let's see which are the important articles, and first of all we'll try to understand the relevance of these articles to our examination, and then we will discuss them in detail one by one. Okay. Yes, so we are having the follow-up on Ukraine-Russia crisis. So you can see overthrowing Ukraine government is not our goal, says Russia. So these developments, how they are unfolding in the world politics, we can say that it is also relevant to PSR optional subject, and in general GS2 paper IR section of our syllabus, we need to have follow-up here. Prime Minister Modi calls Hungarian Prime Minister as evacuation nears end. Okay, so yes, some of the neighboring countries of Ukraine, so including Hungary, Poland, and all these countries have helped India in the evacuation. So this especially the Operation Ganga that we are working on. So this is good development or the positive development, we can say. On the bottom side, important news from economy perspective: Cabinet nod for new firm to monetize land assets. So this new public sector undertaking is being formed, National Land Monetization Corporation. Okay, so National Land Monetization Corporation is being formed with initial authorized share capital of rupees 5,000 crore and paid up capital of 150 crore rupees. Okay, so last year in Union Budget it was announced that there will be National Monetization Pipeline, NMP, which will be helpful for increasing the efficiency of the unutilized land assets available with public sector enterprises and the government agencies. Now that will be monetized, and there will not be ownership transfer to the private sector, rather this land assets will be provided on the lease to the private sector. Private sector further will invest in these assets and improve their efficiency. Okay, so in that direction, this is the new development. Okay. Now, directly coming to the page number 6, editorial page. Yes, lead article: An unnecessary war and its grave portents. Yes, so again the article is discussing this Ukraine-Russia war. We have discussed enough articles regarding this. Yes, if you are new and you have not discussed or read anything about this war from mains perspective, so you need to read this article. Otherwise it is not that much, we can say, important, because already we have discussed the similar points there. But the new article is bottom one: water management needs a hydrosocial approach. Now almost every year or alternate year, UPSC either in GS1 paper or GS3 paper, GS1 geography, GS3 paper environment and resources, we can say. So UPSC generally asks question related to water conservation. Okay, as we know that it is the burning issue at present, and water scarcity is increasing day by day. Okay, and that's why it is not only concern in India but a global concern. Okay, so from that aspect the article is written, what are the issues and challenges related to water conservation in India and what approach should be adopted. ठीक है, तो वो geography GS1 as well as GS3 paper environment section, it is relevant to our examination. So we will discuss that article. Okay. Now coming to the page number 8. Okay, fine. So articles, again you can see that upper age limit for NEET undergraduate removed, new changes are being made. Just having the follow up, miscellaneous perspective से आपको कुछ चीजें पता होनी चाहिए. Naga group seeks early peace deal. Now yes, we already discussed this Naga peace process. Last month it was in news, December month, last to last month. And yes, there was some kind of civilian conflict, civilian army conflict, and there was a death of civilians in that conflict. So again, Naga peace process was in news. Okay, and the framework agreement signed between these Naga people organizations and the central government in 2015 has not yet finalized. Okay, it was signed, but the framework is not consolidated and the final agreement is not yet signed. So that's why some of the groups are seeking early peace deal there. Okay. Fine. On page number 10, you can see on top right hand side, Covovax gets nod for use in 12 to 17 age group. Okay, so from prelims perspective, you should be aware which of the COVID-19 vaccines have been approved, given the approval for emergency use by India's regulator. Okay, so this is now the fourth such vaccine which got, we can say, approval for those children below 18 years of age. Covovax by Serum Institute of India. We will also find out the earlier three which vaccines got approval by Indian regulator. One more important news, yes, we have not covered here, but it is relevant here. Cabinet nod for Center for Traditional Medicine. Okay, this medicine center, World Health Organization Global Center for Traditional Medicine, it is going to be established at Jamnagar in Gujarat. And it is under, we can say, the agreement signed by Government of India and World Health Organization, and it will be established under Ministry of Ayush. Okay, so it is very relevant to our prelims examination. Jamnagar, Gujarat, WHO, Government of India agreement, and the name of the organization, or we can say institute, WHO Global Center for Traditional Medicine under Ministry of Ayush. Okay, yes. Now on page number 11, two important news on bottom side. You can see man who received pig's heart dies after 2 months. So yes, 2 months ago we covered this news of let's say a novel experiment, or to some extent successful also, xenotransplantation. Okay, so this genetically engineered and we can say pig's heart in the laboratory was transplanted into the human, and that human survived for 2 months. Unfortunately, that person died recently. That's why again it is in news. And on 4th March, there was a very good article in the Hindu newspaper talking about, let's say, xenotransplantation, its benefits as well as we can say the concerns, the issues, also ethical issues or ethical concerns have been discussed there. So we did in detail discuss that article also. So I would advise you to refer to that, we can say the Hindu newspaper video. We have provided the link in this PDF itself. Okay. On bottom side, Antarctic explorer Shackleton's ship discovered after a century. Okay, so Shackleton's ship, endurance ship, it was we can say submerged in 1922. There was expedition, and now it was found under the surface of Weddell Sea in Antarctic. Okay, so this expedition happened in we can say early 19th century. And after 100 years of death of Shackleton's, now this specific expedition to find out the location of that ship was done here, and they have found this ship here. Just miscellaneous perspective से आपको कुछ चीज़ें पता होनी चाहिए. Nowadays, out of 100 questions, around 4 to 5 questions are miscellaneous questions. Miscellaneous in a sense, rigidly you will not find the reference of those questions to relevance to our syllabus. Okay, direct relevance we can say कि ये polity से है, ये economy से है, ऐसे question. Okay, so that's why we say that this is miscellaneous part. ठीक है? Okay. Okay, so on text and context page, there is two important article. One, UPI 123 Pay. Recently, RBI has launched this system, payment system, so as to bring the feature phones under the we can say UPI payment system and further boost to financial inclusion. Okay, so we'll find out how this works out. UPI 123 Pay. From economy perspective, also there is one news talking about recently one cargo ship, we can say transported FCI food grains from Patna to one Guwahati in Assam. through Bangladesh. Okay, so there is Indo-Bangladesh shipment agreement for this development of waterways, and this is good development. Okay, so there will be some kind of international movement or international trade also. Also the connectivity to Northeast India will increase. That is fine from mains perspective. But from prelims perspective, again we need to revise which are the national waterways or national inland waterways developed in India. Okay, so directly on the map we will revise that. Okay, location wise. Okay, let's go in detail of all these articles. So first article on page number 6, very relevant to our examination. Water management needs a hydrosocial approach. Also those who are having geography optional subject, GS1 geography part, resources is a part of our syllabus, and water resources is again we can say one of the important resource. GS3 paper environment section also we can expect question there. Yes, water conservation. So first of all, the writer tries to establish the link between societal vulnerability and modifications of water systems. Now one can easily understand there is increasing stress on fresh water supply in the country. First thing we know that there is increasing population, and therefore the demand for water supply is increasing. Also the consumption in agriculture sector is huge, and therefore the demand for water, fresh water is also further increasing, and the supply is decreasing to some extent. Okay. Also, whatever the water resources are there, their capacity is being reduced due to encroachment as well as the point and non-point sources of pollution. Okay, so that is again one of the major concern that we are facing, or simply we can say modification of water systems is being done. In recent time, the new aspect related to modification is, we can say that IBT. Inter-basin transfer or intra-basin transfer. So we can say interlinking of the rivers. Okay, so this is modification of water system and how it impacts the social vulnerability. How it is linked to social vulnerability. Yes, positively we can understand that due to transfer from surplus to deficit, the deficit regions surely will, we can say, benefit from this transfer, but of course those surplus regions may face the problem in near future. Also one should understand that due to decline in water supply, quality water supply, what happens is the poor people, okay, so they need to walk for long distance to get the water. जैसे हम देखते हैं कि राजस्थान, गुजरात, which are let's say water deficient regions, so there the people walk for kilometers. Especially the impact is on women, because traditionally women are having this division of labor kind of thing in our society. To fend off the water, we can say the women are overburdened here. Okay, and further the distance they are traveling to get the water, fresh water or drinking water, it is again increasing. Then we can understand is related to polluted water. So whatever the water is remaining, it is not potable water. Drinking water quality is declining, and because of that there will be increasing waterborne diseases. There will be increasing waterborne diseases. Simply we can see that in cities like Delhi, Mumbai, Pune, or these cities, whatever the municipality water supply is happening, so it is not, we can say, up to that quality mark, and everywhere you can see that in each and every household either there will be some water purifier, and or we can say that जो जार आते हैं ना पानी के, बिस्लरी के, तो आप देखते हैं अगर आप दिल्ली में रह रहे हैं तो all students use that jar. Right, so of course the water, tap water is not potable water nowadays, especially in cities. But of course that water which is costly, drinking water, so it is not feasible financially for poor people. It is not affordable for them, right? So of course they will drink the tap water, and again the burden related to this one. So out of pocket expenditure will increase, the health burden, disproportionate impact on poor and marginalized sections. Okay, so this is how societal vulnerability. Not only this, but we can also talk about, let's say, if supply of fresh water decreases, it will impact the agriculture sector and huge impact on farmers. Okay, so farmers' livelihood is also impacted because of this, right? So yes, the farmers' livelihood, their food security aspect, all these are social vulnerability related to modification of water sources, right? Water systems. All this discussion should come into your answer. Now, talking about, let's say, a global level sustainable development goal SDG 6 to be achieved by 2030. It is related to water availability and sanitization. Yes, both are interlinked, but yes, one should understand that every person all over the world should get the potable water. This we have sustainable development goal, but we are not in line with achieving this at present. Okay. The anthropogenic factors directly influencing the freshwater system. Yes, of course, we can talk about this factor. First of all, we can say that, let's say, engineering the water systems, water sources, water channels. जैसे हम देखते हैं कि क्या होता है यहाँ पे, building dams, multi-purpose projects, or we can say that canals, interbasin transfer or interlinking of river. This is nothing but the modification of water channels. Okay, then we can talk about changes in water sources or reservoir. Okay, so what is happening? There is encroachment on wetlands. Okay, so this is also major concern, and that's why natural water reservoirs are being encroached either for agriculture sector, either for construction, we can say sector. So this, because of this, water resources, their amount is reducing. Third aspect we can talk here is, we can say, pollution. There are different point and non-point sources of pollution. When we say point source, that means directly the polluted water is entering into, we can say, these river streams or lakes. That is point source. जैसे सीवेज है या इंडस्ट्रियल इफ्लुएंस है, डायरेक्टली विदाउट ट्रीटमेंट उसमें जा रहा है. And non-point sources like overland flow is there. Okay, for example, if we are talking about the enrichment of lakes, suppose we are talking here. So excess use of fertilizers, of course, what will happen? These fertilizers will get mixed with the water. When there is more rainfall, excessive irrigation, there will be overland flow, and ultimately that is reaching to the water bodies. So non-point sources of pollution. Okay, so because of this, what is happening? The quality of this fresh water is reducing, and it is not, we can say, usable water. ठीक है, तो ये issue हम बार बार face कर रहे हैं, or we can say that these are the anthropogenic factors. Then modification in water cycle, hydrological cycle or water cycle. How this is happening? Through global warming and climate change. Right, so there is excessive evaporation when there will be more and more atmospheric temperatures, and because of that, what will happen? Ultimately, the rainfall pattern will change. Okay, so that is very serious situation. Why? Because when there will be more and more changes in the rainfall pattern, there will be more and more, we can say, variability of the rainfall or excess extremes like drought situation, flood like situation. ठीक है, तो उसकी वजह से और ज्यादा प्रॉब्लम्स होगी. Right, so one can talk about like this, or we can say anthropogenic factors influencing freshwater system. Let's again deal with these issues and challenges related to water system. And first foremost, why it is in news? जैसे Kane and Betwa link, Kane-Betwa link was in news. This year's budget, again there is provision for funding to, we can say, work out this Kane-Betwa link. Both are tributaries of Yamuna river. Now there is concern related to transfer of water from surplus to deficit region. Why? Because in short run it looks beneficial to the deficit region, but in long term this surplus region is going to have certain detrimental impact. How? Because in future we do not know how rainfall pattern will change. In future we do not know how water resources will work out in that region, its impact on the environment in the nearby region, and because of that this surplus region will have negative impact in a long term manner. So that's why the early benefits to deficit region may be, we can say, dominated by negative impact of this negative impact on the surplus region. Okay, so the concept that we are using in interbasin transfer, this is in long term is not that much useful. Then the second aspect one should understand or in issues and challenges is grey water generation. Okay, huge amount of water, especially in urban areas. Around it is said that 30% to 40% water that is consumed convert into grey water directly entering into the river system without any much treatment or reuse. So this is major concern, especially in urban areas. In rural areas it is also concern, but recently Jal Jeevan Mission, this was asked in mains examination about Jal Jeevan Mission GS3 paper. So it has one of the component in rural areas as grey water management. So there will be water treatment plant. Okay, so one should know that what government is doing in that area. Okay, third aspect is related to, we can say, whatever the irrigation capacity that we have created up till now, this irrigation potential is not utilized. And this gap at present is around 19%. Whatever the irrigation capacity that we have created and the realization or utilization of that capacity, there is huge gap of 19 to 20%, and we basically whatever the irrigation potential we have, we are not utilizing it. Fourth, okay, again we can talk about here is related to pollution. Reducing capacities of resources or sources, water sources, water system. So this is ultimately, we can say, reducing the supply of fresh water. Fifth is issues related to, we can say, groundwater. Excessive groundwater extraction, it has resulted into groundwater depletion, lowering the groundwater table, also resulting into some of the groundwater borne diseases in certain areas, jaise arsenic and cadmium, we can say pollution is happening in some of the states like West Bengal, Bihar. Okay, so groundwater pollution, this is major concern nowadays. Also excessive groundwater extraction in Punjab and Haryana region, it is resulting into declined water capacity, or simply we can say, declined soil productivity in that region. Okay, so groundwater related concerns. Then we can say that talking about watershed management, and water harvesting, rainwater harvesting, it is not yet mainstream subject or mainstream concept, although the government is emphasizing on watershed management from time to time since independence, but it is not yet realized the kind of potential that we have, especially in semi-arid and arid region. So yes, there are some successful case studies, like in Maharashtra we have Raregan Siddhi. There is one page dedicated in NCRT about talking about this, and there are many such case studies, successful case studies, but it is not yet successful at national level. And yes, rainwater harvesting to some extent in urban areas due to compulsion. Like for example, in Chennai, there is compulsorily all new buildings are supposed to have the rainwater harvesting structures. But such kind of compulsion may not result into the ultimate results. When there is, we can say, from inside change in the behavior, attitude of the people, then only it will be successful. So water management requires this hydrosocial approach we are talking here. So that means the hybrid water management system is necessary where individual, that is the person, a community and society have definite roles in the value chain. So especially water use associations. Use this in your answer. This has been successful case study in some of the states, especially Maharashtra. Water use associations, that is on cooperative basis, farmers themselves are we can say managing the water resources in their community, in their society, or we can say that the resources provided to them through canal irrigation. This is very important. Why? Because there will be check on the efficient utilization of water, and no a particular farmer can have the excessive utilization of the water. जितना उनको dedicate हुआ है उतना ही वो water use कर सकते हैं, right? So this will increase the on-farm water efficiency. Next aspect is related to, we can say, individual. There should be change in the attitude of the people. Like at household level, one should have some kind of efficient utilization of water. Along with that, one should also talk, let's say, focus on reducing the pollution, water pollution. So how it can be avoided, how it can be reduced. So that is also very important aspect. ठीक है, तो community based, society based water conservation, water management approach should be there. ठीक है, तो इसको ज़्यादा emphasis करना है. There can be direct question. Discuss the issues associated with efficient fresh water management in India. Some good facts are again mentioned in the article. One should know that more than 90% of the water is utilized in agriculture sector. Fresh water we are talking in India, and then remaining industry and for drinking water purpose. Okay, this fact. Then we talked about 19% gap in the we can say realization of the irrigation potential. तो वो आपको fact पता होनी चाहिए, right? So you can use them in your answer. Fine? Okay. Now moving on. Yes, there is one explainer on text and context page. Yesterday there was or on 8th March RBI released this new payment system. ठीक है, Reserve Bank of India launched new unified payment interface payments solution for feature phone users dubbed as UPI 123 Pay. What is feature phone? फीचर फोन जो होता था ना पहले, जिसपे नम पैड होता है, ठीक है, नंबर पैड होता है, हम डायल नोकिया वाले फोन रहते थे, राइट? सो यस, सम ऑफ द फीचर फोन्स आर स्टिल देयर, जैसे जियो का फोन होता है. ओके, सो दे आर कॉल्ड एज फीचर फोन्स विच आर एक्चुअली हैविंग द ट्रेडिशनल टेक्नोलॉजी and some of the methods or some of the technology is also there, like screen touch कुछ इसमें होता है, या internet connectivity app based system भी होता है, but limited extent, basic से जो होता है, ठीक है. So they are called as feature phones. Now up till now, whatever the UPI system was there, it was launched since in 2016. So that system was being used only for smartphones. Okay, it was eligible for only smartphones. Now this feature phones let's say technique will be used, and it is going to be boost for financial inclusion, because especially in rural India many people still use this feature phone and not, we can say, smartphone. They are still costly. Okay, and how to use them, these smartphones, it is very difficult to let's say those who are uneducated, we can say illiterate people, उनके लिए काफ़ी मुश्किल होता है ये स्मार्टफोन यूज़ करना. Although one can easily learn after some practice, but जो फीचर फोन होता है, बेसिक होता है, वो इजीली समझ सकते हैं. So now they will be able to do some kind of financial transaction like transfer of funds, or the payment of EMI, their loan installments, everything can be done with certain methods introduced through this UPI 123 Pay. Let's find out how it works. How does new solution works? Okay, yes, with UPI 123 Pay, feature phone users will be required to go through an onboarding process where they have to link their bank account to their feature phone and then set a UPI pin using their debit card for authenticating transaction. ठीक है, तो उनको वन टाइम रजिस्टर करना है सारे फीचर फोन होल्डर्स को, ठीक है, और वहां पे उनको लिंक करना है उनके फोन के साथ वो बैंक अकाउंट जो है, एंड क्रिएट यूपीआई पिन फॉर एनी ट्रांजैक्शन. Now after doing that, once they have completed this process, users will be able to use new UPI facility for person to person as well as merchant transactions through one of the 4 distinct payment options that don't require internet connection. तो ये 4 उन्होंने alternatives दिए हैं within this system which does not require the internet connection. Which are these 4 systems, how they work? Yes, so first among them is interactive voice response, IVR, interactive voice response. Second, app based functionality. Third, missed call facility, and fourth, proximity sound based payments. Let's understand how they works. Yes, using the IVR, intervoice, let's say this IVR option, users would be required to initiate a secure call from their feature phone to predetermined IVR number and complete UPI onboarding formalities to be able to start making financial transactions like money transfer, mobile recharge, EMI payment. ये सारे हम कर सकते हैं, एक बार उनको पहले वो रजिस्टर करना पड़ेगा, ठीक है. Then missed call facility will allow users to access their bank account, perform routine transactions like transfer of fund, receiving fund, ये सारी चीजें by giving missed call on number displayed at merchant outlet. At present we have that barcode, right? हम scan and pay वाला system use करते हैं. There will be number displayed also, that on that number if one, let's say that person with facility here, this missed call can give missed call and the customer will receive an incoming call to authenticate the transaction by entering UPI pin. ठीक है, तो ये मिस कॉल वाला एक अल्टरनेटिव वहां पे दिया है. Now the third option, they could also install an app on their feature phone through which several UPI functions available on smartphones will be available on their feature phone except this scan and pay feature which is at present not available in this system. ठीक है, तो मैक्सिमम चीजें वो स्मार्टफोन वाली भी यहाँ पे इंट्रोड्यूस कर दी है. Then finally they could utilize the proximity sound based payment system also or option which uses sound waves to enable contactless offline proximity data communication on any device. These are novel technology based features. So 4 alternatives are given here, and one of the alternative can be utilized which do not require internet connectivity. ठीक है, तो हम देखते हैं कि रूरल इंडिया में इंटरनेट कनेक्टिविटी वैसे भी कम है, and because of that they were not able to do these transactions, UPI transactions. So this is going to further digitize economy. It is going to give boost to financial inclusion. ये सारी चीजें आपको समझनी चाहिए, ठीक है, from men's perspective. And from prelims perspective, yes, of course the nitty-gritties can be asked. Do other countries have something similar? Yes, M-Pesa, Africa's leading mobile money service. Okay, so this money service, or we can say system, have similar kind of system used in Congo, Egypt, Ghana और Mozambique, Tanzania. ये सारे कंट्रीज में M-Pesa इम्प्लीमेंट किया गया है, ठीक है. इट ऑल्सो यूटिलाइज सिमिलर काइंड ऑफ फीचर फोन बेस्ड ट्रांजैक्शन सिस्टम. ओके. Cabinet nod for new firm to monetize land asset. Yes, last year the National asset monetization or asset monetization pipeline. This particular national monetization pipeline, this NMP was launched in Union Budget last year by Finance Minister, and under this we can say pipeline there will be monetization of assets. There is difference between monetization and disinvestment, privatization. In monetization, there will not be transfer of ownership of the assets, rather these assets will be given to private sector on lease, and there will be paid up cash available with the government when the private sector will pay the government for that lease purpose. ठीक है, तो यहाँ पे हम बोल सकते हैं कि the resources will be generated with the government or by the government which can be further utilized for infrastructure creation. ठीक है, greenfield and brownfield infrastructure creation. So this is the plan, monetization, and for that purpose now National Land Monetization Corporation is being formed with initial authorized share of capital 5,000 crore, paid up capital of 150 crore. Okay. Now, this particular entity as a public sector entity, we will have the chairman which will be appointed by the government through merit based selection process, and it will also hire private sector professionals having expertise in this sector. This will undertake monetization of surplus land and building assets of central public sector undertakings or enterprises and government agencies. The proposal is in pursuance of budget announcement last year 2021-22, which includes an ambitious national monetization pipeline to garner revenues from the public assets which are lying idle at present. Okay, so it is further increasing efficiency of these assets which are lying idle. Okay. Man who received pig's heart dies after 2 months. Okay, so yes, again it is in news. 2 months ago we discussed this. Again on 4th March we had in detail from men's perspective we discussed xenotransplantation. Xenotransplantation means transplantation of animal organs into human being. Okay, so this is new field we can say in medical terms or biological terms, biological science. So, but yes, in this particular case, University of Maryland Medical Center, there the doctors had transplanted the heart of genetically engineered pig. Okay, and that heart was transplanted into human. That human was terminally ill and was not having or not able to have the heart from the other human being. ठीक है, तो इसकी वजह से उन्होंने ये ऑप्शन चूज किया था. It was successfully transplanted. They were appreciated all over the world. But now after 2 months of time period, that person has died. But one should understand that he has survived significantly longer than one of the last milestones. When this person, baby Faye, a dying infant, lived 21 days with baboon's heart in 1984. ठीक है, पहले भी ऐसे एक्सपेरिमेंट्स हुए हैं, बट 2 महीने तक कोई पर्सन जिंदा नहीं रहा है. So this heart was earlier functioning well, but later on due to complexities, the person died here. ठीक है, तो ये जो जीनो ट्रांसप्लांटेशन, उसके पॉजिटिव्स क्या है, नेगेटिव्स क्या है, and the ethical concerns, there can be question in ethics paper about this. Okay, so you should refer to this link here. On 4th March we have discussed this article. Okay, yes. Now Covovax gets nod for use in 12 to 17 age group. This vaccine manufactured by Serum Institute of India, it has got restricted emergency use authorization. Okay, so earlier 3 such vaccines approved for children below 18 years of age. Corbovax of Biological E. ठीक है, आपको वैक्सीन का नाम और वो कंपनी का नाम पता होना चाहिए प्रीलिम्स के लिए. Then Xylus Cadila, Zycov D, name of the vaccine, and Bharat Biotech's Covaxin. Although these 4 vaccines got approval in India, but only Covaxin is being given to the children. Okay, so other 3 are not in the market for utilization, or we can say giving to the children. ठीक है. Then Antarctic explorer Shackleton's ship discovered after a century. Okay, so scientists say they have found the sunken wreck of polar explorer Ernest Shackleton ship Endurance more than a century after it was lost to Antarctic ice. ठीक है, तो ये जो लास्ट लोकेशन उन्होंने रिकॉर्ड किया था 1915 में 6.4 किलोमीटर साउथ ऑफ दैट, दिस वी कैन से लोकेशन हैज बीन फाउंड नियर बिलो द सरफेस ऑफ वेडल सी. वेडल सी फेमस है वहाँ पर रिसर्च के लिए अंटार्कटिक में. An expedition set off from South Africa last month to search the ship, which was crushed by sea and sank in 1915. Okay, so Shackleton's 1914 to 16 attempt to become first person to cross Antarctic via South Pole failed. He never set foot on the continent, but his successful bid to reach help at a remote South Antarctic whaling station and rescuing his men is considered a heroic feat of endurance. All the men survived and were rescued many months later. तो ये एक्सपीडिशन जो था उनको बचाने के लिए था और वो क्रॉस करने के लिए भी था उनका. He was the Antarctic explorer. So that's why थोड़ा सा मिसलिनियस पर्सपेक्टिव से आपको थोड़ा पता होना चाहिए, right? Then on text and context page, there is one article giving reference to this National Waterways 1 and 2. So that's why we'll again revise the National Waterways of India. National Waterway 1 on Ganga River from Haldia to Allahabad or Prayagraj. ठीक है, तो यहाँ पे लोकेशन है Allahabad and Haldia in West Bengal. From this there is continuous navigable stretch of Ganga River. Then National Waterway 2 is on Brahmaputra, Dhubri to Sadia. So Dhubri यहाँ पे location है where this Brahmaputra is entering into Bangladesh from Assam, and Sadia is on eastern part of Assam like this. Remember from Patna to Pandu, just now this near Guwahati, Pandu port is there. तो ये जो अभी FCI का शिपमेंट गया है तो वो ऐसे गया है बांग्लादेश से अंदर जाके फिर से नॉर्थ ईस्ट में एंटर करके गया है. सो इट हैज कनेक्टेड नेशनल वाटरवे 1 to 2 थ्रू बांग्लादेश. ओके, सो इट इज सिग्निफिकेंटली गोइंग टू इंक्रीज द कनेक्टिविटी टू नॉर्थ ईस्ट एंड इट इज गोइंग टू बी वी कैन से लेस कॉस्टली. जो वाटर ट्रांसपोर्ट वाटरवेज होते हैं वो कम कॉस्ट होता है. इट इज ऑल्सो वी कैन से एनवायरमेंट फ्रेंडली. तो इसलिए हम बोल सकते हैं दिस इज गोइंग टू बी गुड डेवलपमेंट. Now, National Waterway 3 is on the western, the only we can say waterway on the western side at present, West Coast Canal from Kollam to Kottapuram. ठीक है, so this is located in Kerala. Udagmandalam Canal or West Coast Canal, it is part of this waterway. Then National Waterway 4 connects Godavari Krishna Delta and the canals from Kakinada to Puducherry. दिस इज ठीक है, तो यहाँ पे दिख रहा है आपको गोदावरी रिवर ऐसे और कृष्णा रिवर ऐसे यहाँ पे आ रहा है, उनको कनेक्ट कर दिया है वहाँ पे. ओके, देन नेशनल वाटरवे 5 ब्राह्मणी रिवर एंड डेल्टा कैनल्स ईस्ट कोस्ट कैनल. ओके, सो यू कैन सी दैट दिस इज ब्राह्मणी रिवर. यहाँ से वो नेविगेबल स्ट्रेच है, यहाँ तक कनेक्ट किया हुआ है. ओके, सो दिस इज फ्रॉम गोइंगखली टू तलचर. सो तलचर एवरीवन नो दैट देयर इज इंपॉर्टेंट कोल माइन लोकेटेड. सो दिस इज नेशनल वाटरवे 5 ब्राह्मणी रिवर पे है. देन वी हैव दिस नेशनल वाटरवे 6 इन नॉर्थ ईस्ट इंडिया ऑन बराक रिवर फ्रॉम लखीपुर टू भांगा. इट इज इन प्रोसेस. इट इज being implemented in Assam, Mizoram, Manipur and Tripura states. ठीक है, ये जो नेशनल वाटरवे 5 है ओडिशा एंड वेस्ट बंगाल. and this national waterway for Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu and Union Territory of Puducherry. ठीक है? Yes, so this can be asked in prelims examination like this. What should be answer to this question? Yes, so the question talks about incorrectly matched pair. Okay, so command is incorrectly matched. National Waterway 1 Ganga River, this is correctly matched. National Waterway 3 East Coast Canal, this is incorrect. It is West Coast Canal on the western side in Kerala, right? So it is incorrect. National Waterway 5 West Coast Canal, this is incorrect, right? National Waterway 5 is on Brahmani River. वेस्ट कोस्ट कैनल जो है वो नेशनल वाटरवे 4 पे है, राइट? सो दिस इज ऑल्सो इनकरेक्ट. वी कैन अगेन सी हियर. सो आंसर इज 1 ओनली ए. यू कैन सी हियर अगेन नेशनल वाटरवे 4 जो है वहां पे हम सॉरी नेशनल वाटरवे 5 जो है वहां पे ईस्ट कोस्ट कैनल है. हाँ, तो वेस्ट कोस्ट कैनल कहां पर है? नेशनल वाटरवे 3 पे है, सॉरी. ठीक है, तो दैट्स व्हाई दिस इज इनकरेक्ट. वहां पे ईस्ट कोस्ट कैनल होना चाहिए था, नेशनल वाटरवे 5 पे. फाइन, सो दैट्स व्हाई 1 ओनली इज द करेक्ट आंसर. यस, ओके. So these were the important articles from today's The Hindu newspaper. Fine, thank you.